Ready for a visual adventure? We're diving deep into Europe through the lens of a photographer who's all about capturing the soul of a place.
We're talking about Sven Dräger, right? His work is incredible.
Exactly. We're lucky enough to have his latest photography book, A Love Letter to Europe. It's not just gorgeous pictures. He actually spills some serious photography secrets in here.
Yeah, he gives you these little insights, tips on how to see even the most iconic spots with fresh eyes.
And he seems to really have a thing for Italy, spent years exploring its hidden corners.
His words, not mine, he calls Italy his muse. So I guess that's our starting point then, turning the pages on Dräger's Italy.
Let's do it. I'm guessing we can't skip Florence, even if we've all seen a million photos of the Duomo.
See, that's where Dräger surprises you. He says, sure, see the Duomo, but then chase the light. Head up to Piazza Michelangelo at sunset claims the panorama will redefine your whole concept of the Renaissance.
Planning a trip around the sunset. That's dedication.
Mhm.
Okay, color me intrigued. Anything else on his Florence must-shoot list?
Light and shadow, that's his obsession. Especially how it plays on those old buildings. He wants you to get lost in those narrow streets where the sun barely peeks through. Says the light's more dramatic, more alive. He even suggests going in the off-season when the light hits differently.
Makes sense. Less crowds to get in the way of those dramatic pictures, too. All right, so what about Siena? What's he got to say about that?
Siena is where he wants you to ditch the tourist trail altogether. Obsessed with those secret courtyards you find tucked away behind the grand palazzos.
You mean like actually hidden?
He mentions one on Via dei Montanini. Picture this. You step through an archway and suddenly you're transported back in time. Total tranquility, a glimpse of local life you wouldn't find anywhere else. He even managed to capture a cat napping in a sunbeam there. It's magical.
See, that's what I love. He's not just showing off. He's giving you the tools to find these moments yourself. Okay, speaking of moments, we got to talk about the Val d'Orcia. It's like a photographer's dream come true, right?
Dräger calls it a photographer's paradise. Rolling hills, those iconic cypress trees lining the roads, and he's giving away all the secrets to making the most of it. You know that epic battle scene in Gladiator?
Everyone knows that scene.
He hunted down the exact spot where they filmed it. Like, he gives you the GPS coordinates, 43 degrees, 031335.8 tests, and 11 degrees, 3643.3 E, and everything. Then tells you how to frame the shot, best time of day, everything.
Okay, now I have to go just to recreate that shot. And while we're in the neighborhood, got to ask about those hill towns, right? Montalcino, Montepulciano, all those places you see on postcards.
Of course. He says no trip to the Val d'Orcia is complete without sipping Brunello in Montalcino. And soak up the atmosphere in Montepulciano, that's where they make Vino Nobile.
I've heard it's incredible.
He says it's one of the few places left that still feels like old Italy. And you know Dräger, he's all about capturing a feeling, not just an image.
Absolutely. So it's more than just photography. It's about experiencing a place with all your senses. Speaking of which, where does this sensory journey take us next?
He makes an interesting pit stop. La Spezia.
La Spezia. Isn't that just where the ferries leave for Cinque Terre?
Most people treat it like a quick stopover. But, you guessed it, Dräger urges us to slow down.
He's really big on finding beauty in unexpected places, isn't he?
Big time. Says the harbor in La Spezia is electric, especially at sunset. And don't even get him started on the food. He raves about the seafood being the freshest he's ever tasted.
All right, you've convinced me I'm adding La Spezia to my list.
Yeah.
But let's be real, it's hard to resist the allure of Cinque Terre.
Cinque Terre. Even Dräger can't deny its magic. Those 5 towns clinging to the cliffs, the houses stacked like colorful blocks. It's captivating.
It really is.
But he digs deeper. He talks about how humans actually shaped that landscape, how for generations families carved terraces into the cliff sides to stop erosion, to make the land farmable.
It's incredible when you think about it. All that history etched into the landscape.
Exactly. Suddenly you're not just looking at pretty houses, you're seeing the legacy of generations, the sheer human determination behind it. He adds this whole other layer to the experience.
It's like he's teaching you to see not just with your eyes, but with your heart and mind as well.
He is. It's about slowing down, looking beyond the postcard views, and uncovering the stories underneath. And trust me, he's just getting started.
So where to next on this photographic adventure? Does Dräger stay in Italy?
He does, but he takes us off the beaten path a bit. South Italy. Gets away from the crowds and finds a whole different kind of magic.
What kind of magic are we talking about here?
Think dramatic coastlines, ancient towns, a slower pace of life. He starts in Apulia.
Apulia, okay.
It's known for this unique architecture and a stunning coastline. You've got Alberobello with those truly houses.
Those are the ones that look like, what are they, little cones.
Exactly, like something straight out of a fairy tale. He's got this one shot, light hitting them just right at sunset. Pure magic.
I bet. Okay, I'm sold. What else did he find down there?
Well, then he's off to Monopoli and Polignano a Mare. Those are those coastal towns with the whitewashed buildings clinging to the cliffs.
I've seen pictures. They're gorgeous.
You can practically smell the salt air in his photos. Then he ventures into Basilicata. It's a little more rugged, less explored. He was really drawn to Matera.
Matera. Remind me what's in Matera.
It's famous for the Sassi, ancient cave dwellings built right into the hillside.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They're incredible. Weren't they inhabited for centuries?
Something like that, yeah. And get this, they filmed a James Bond movie there, No Time to Die.
Wait, seriously? James Bond and Matera? I never would have pictured that.
Right. Ancient history meets modern-day action hero. Dräger actually got some behind-the-scenes shots of the filming. It's pretty cool.
That's wild. Okay, so he's obviously got a knack for finding these unexpected connections.
Yeah.
Makes you think about a place in a whole new way.
Totally. But, even though Italy clearly holds a special place in his heart, he didn't limit himself. He's got sections on Slovenia, Poland, Slovakia.
Did he really? What did he find in, say, Slovenia?
He was really taken by this waterfall, Kozak waterfall, I think it was called. Apparently, it's this hidden gem off the beaten path, even for locals.
See, this is why I love his work, always uncovering these little gems. What about Poland?
He was captivated by Krakow and Warsaw, those vibrant cities with layers of history, beautiful architecture.
Right, right. And Slovakia?
He really focused on the countryside. Picturesque villages, stunning landscapes, that kind of thing.
So even when he's venturing beyond Italy, it's that same philosophy. Ditch the tourist traps, find the hidden beauty. It's inspiring, in a way.
It is.
And
like he's saying, look closer, there's beauty everywhere, even in the most unexpected places.
Absolutely. But it's not just what he photographs, it's his style, his eye. How he uses light and shadow to evoke such a strong feeling, especially in that section on Bretagne and Normandy.
Ah, yes. Bretagne and Normandy. Those are some of my favorites. Those images, those lighthouses. They're almost melancholic, aren't they?
Totally. Haunting, even. You can practically feel the wind and the spray of the ocean just looking at them.
It's that dramatic coastline he captures so well. But it's more than just landscapes. Remember how he talks about lighthouses being symbols of human resilience?
Right. Standing strong against the elements. It makes you see them in a different light. No pun intended.
None taken. And you can't forget Mont Saint-Michel either, that island abbey. Magical.
Oh, yeah. The way the tides change the whole scene. Talk about dramatic.
It's like something out of a dream, right? And speaking of sensory experiences, let's talk about those lavender fields in Provence.
Don't even get me started. I swear I could smell them to the pages. Row after row of purple. Unreal.
He actually asks the reader if they've ever experienced that scent for themselves. He says it reminds him of his grandmother's garden.
Oh, that's sweet. It really adds a personal touch. He's inviting you to connect with the images on a deeper level, right? To tap into your own memories, your own senses.
It's brilliant, really. And then from the lavender fields, he takes us to, Germany. It's quite a shift.
It is, yeah. What caught his eye in Germany?
It's interesting he juxtaposes these industrial scenes, like a bustling train station, with something like Neuschwanstein Castle.
Oh, right. Talk about a study in contrast.
Exactly. It's like he's reminding us that beauty exists everywhere in all these different forms. You just have to open yourself up to it.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Dräger's work, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this? What's the big takeaway?
Don't just see the world. Experience it with all your senses. Notice the light, the textures, the stories hidden in plain sight.
And capture those moments. Even if it's just a quick photo on your phone, experiment. Have fun. You might surprise yourself.
Exactly. And as a final thought, why not take a look around your own world with fresh eyes? You never know what hidden beauty you might uncover right in your own backyard.
Love that. It's a great reminder that inspiration is everywhere. And to our listeners, if you want to get lost in Dräger's stunning photography, definitely check out his book. You won't be disappointed.
It's a visual feast, that's for sure.